Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's time for another recipe. So I'm going to show you or share with you a recipe from the Slimming World Eat More for Less book, and it's the barbecue style meatloaf. Now it is the first time I've made this, but let's do it together, shall we? There are quite a few ingredients, but I think it'll be worth it. So this recipe serves 6. It's an SP recipe if you serve it with speed veg. It can be frozen and it looks really good. It's the barbecue style meatloaf. So what you'll need for this recipe is 250 grams of lean beef mince, which is 5% fat or less, which is there. So we need 250 grams of beef mince, 500 grams of lean pork mince, 5%, less than 5% fat again. I can get this from Aldi. Now the book says 400 gram can of green lentils in water. Now this is the only thing I could find in Morrison's for lentils, and they look like red lentils to me, but I'm sure they'll be fine. So I've got a can of lentils, 1 medium onion, 2 tablespoons of barbecue seasoning, which I've again got that from Morrison's, 2 tablespoons of Worcester sauce, some dried thyme, where's the thyme? Garlic and onion granules, tomato puree, and 2 eggs, 2 garlic cloves, 500 grams of passata. This one's from Aldi. Smoked paprika, I've just got normal, I'm sure that'll be fine. A dash of Tabasco sauce, I've got some especially. Celery salt optional, well I haven't got any of that and I've already bought enough for this recipe. Some red wine vinegar and 2 level teaspoons of sweetener. So I'll go over the amounts again when we're actually making the recipe, but the first thing we need to do, and then it says line a 23cm by 12cm loaf tin with non-stick baking paper, and I've just measured my usual cake tin, loaf tin, and it's the £2 loaf tin, and I've got one of the paper liners that you can get from places like Home Bargains and B&M. The first thing we need to do is chop the onion, so we'll do that. The first thing we need is 250 grams of beef mince. There's actually about 500 grams here, so I'm just going to weigh out half. £228. That will do. So 250 grams of lean beef mince. Then we need to add the 500 grams of pork mince. I'll do that. And then we've got our can of lentils. So again, this one was from Morrison's. If you can find green lentils, then that's fine. But you need to drain and rinse them. So I've put them in a colander. just rinsing them. And now I'm going to add my drained and rinsed lentils, the whole can. I've never been a fan of lentils, so this will be very interesting. So that's the lentils, and then the onion. I think I needed the bigger bowl. Then we need to add the 2 tablespoons of barbecue seasoning. So this is the one I have, so 2 tablespoons. Just bear with me a second, it's not going to come out. Right, I've transferred into a bigger bowl and started breaking the meat down a little bit. So back to the barbecue seasoning, 2 tablespoons of this we need. There's one. It's a bit stuck. And a little bit more. Then we need to add the Worcester sauce. So we need 2 tablespoons of Worcester sauce. That's the Worcester sauce. Then we need the thyme, which was half a teaspoon of dried thyme. If you can hear any little things in the background, it's my little puppy. So the thyme, then half the garlic granules. So it says half a tablespoon of garlic granules. So we'll put a sprinkle of garlic granules in here. That'll do. 2 teaspoons of onion granules, and it says half the onion granules, so we'll put a shake of onion granules in here. That we go. And some tomato puree. So altogether it's 6 tablespoons of tomato puree, and it says half. So we want 3 tablespoons of tomato puree, so we'll give it 3 nice squeezes, 2 and 3. And then we want to add 2 beaten eggs. So I'll just crack 2 eggs. Now I've got 2 large eggs beaten in here, and I'm just going to add that into the mix, and then I'm going to give that a bit of a stir and get it all combined. Right, so I'm just preheating my oven to 180 degrees, and I'm going to take my loaf tin and I'm going to start spooning it in. So this is what the mix looks like. Bear with me a moment. Sorry about that, puppy duties were calling. I just need to spoon this mix into the liner, and again I'm preheating my oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spoon this in, and I'm going to pat it down, squeeze it into the corners and level it out. There's loads of mixture here. So there's the mixture in the loaf tin, and wow, it's certainly full. And it says to cook that on 180 degrees for 1 hour or until cooked through. I can imagine that it would take an hour because it's full and packed. So we'll put that in the oven, we'll have a little clear up, and then we'll make the sauce. Right, so onto the barbecue sauce. The first thing I'm going to put in is the passata. Now my recipe says 500 grams, but I've got a 680 gram bottle here, and I actually want to make like a hunter's chicken tonight, so I'm going to make a little bit extra, and I might as well use up this jar of passata. So I'm going to pour that into my warming pan. Turn that down a bit, it's already spitting. Right, so there's my passata. Let's get a wooden spoon ready. And then we want to add some, we've got the 2 cloves of crushed garlic. So we'll stick that in. We want another little shake of garlic granules and some more onion granules. It says 2 teaspoons, but that'll do. We can always taste and add things as we go along. Then we want the other part of the tomato puree, so we want three tablespoons of tomato puree. So we'll give that another squeeze. If you can hear that, Andrew's looking after Charlie in the other room. Don't know how many squeezes I've done there, but I'm sure that's fine. So that was 3 tablespoons of tomato puree. Then we want the Tabasco sauce. So it says a dash of Tabasco. Now I couldn't find this in Aldi, so I had to go to Morrison's for it. A few drops of that. And then we want a teaspoon of smoked paprika. So I'll put some of that in. There we go. 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. So that's the red wine vinegar. What else have I not put in yet? Oh, and 2 level teaspoons of sweetener granules. So I've just got some canderel here. And we'll put, it says 2 level teaspoons, so we'll put about that in, and I'll give it a taste later on. And give that a stir, and what we want to do is part cover and simmer over a medium to low heat for 20 minutes. So I shall come back shortly. So I'm still boiling my sauce, it's been on about 10 minutes or so. And I'm just going to add some seasoning. So plenty of salt and pepper. I'm finding it quite sweet, so I'm not going to add any more sweetener. And I'm actually going to cheat a little bit and add some Worcester sauce to there as well. A bit more salt. And just keep simmering it and hope that it thickens up. So there's my sauce. It is quite tomatoey and quite sweet, so probably need to add something to make it a bit more barbecuey, but I suppose with the meatloaf it will, you know, the flavours will match together. but we'll leave it simmering a bit longer. Right, so the sauce has been simmering for a good 15-20 minutes. Doesn't really seem to have thickened much. But I did use quite a loose passata, and I did use more passata than it said. And to be honest, it does taste very tomato-y. And not like a barbecue sauce, but I suppose the barbecue flavouring is in the meatloaf. So now I'm just going to decant into one of my little jugs. Sorry, I'm going to have to do it this way actually. See that consistency? And it's more than it's going to fill that little tub there, and we can just reheat that. What I'll probably do is split the meatloaf into portions and also portion out the sauce and freeze it. So we've got 10 minutes left on the meatloaf, so I'll show you what that's like shortly. Here we go then. The meatloaf has been in the microwave in the oven for an hour, and unfortunately I was too impatient and tipped it out of its loaf tin, and the corner has fallen off. But I've tasted a little bit and it does taste really nice. So I'm just going to leave that to cool a bit more, and then I'm going to have a go at slicing it. But yeah, it tastes like a burger. So yeah, we'll leave it to cool, slice it, and I'll show you it again. Just be careful, if you do make this, you will get some fat drainage, so just watch that. But it does, like I said, it tastes like a burger. It tastes really, really nice.
Yes.
Right, so the meatloaf has been cooling on a cooling rack for a good hour or so. And the last step is just to coat it with a bit of the sauce. So it says about 2 tablespoons. So we'll put that on and we'll cover it over. Keep it moist as well. And then I'm going to see how many slices I can get out of it. So I'm going to use my big bread knife to slice. So wish me luck that it doesn't all fall apart. There we go then, I have got 8 slices out of it. The end slices did fall apart, but that is absolutely fine. I've done it into 4 portions because I'll probably be having these for lunches. But obviously if you want to get more or less, then that's up to you. But I've done 4 portions for lunches, and what I'll do is I'll separate the sauce out into 4 or 5 portions and put 3 in the freezer and 1 in the fridge for a lunch this week. And there we go, there's my sin-free, SP-friendly barbecue style meatloaf with the barbecue sauce made with beef mince and pork mince, made a barbecue sauce to dip it in, freezer friendly. I've made 4 portions, and here it is in the Slimming World book, recipe book. It's on page 86 of the Slimming World Eat More for Less recipe book. Thank you very much for watching. Any questions, please ask, and I'll see you next time.